1 year on, with more than 81 million reported infections and 1.7 million deaths around the world, the COVID-19 pandemic is still raging. The UK and some other European countries, as well as the US, are battling to get a grip of the situation. Here in Africa, South Africa has become the first country on the continent to record over 1 million cases, with Nigeria also experiencing a spike in COVID-19 cases in what is now termed the second wave. In light of this, a new set of rules have taken effect to ensure that the spread of the virus is drastically reduced, and the Civil Aviation Authority will fine defaulting airlines $3,500 for each defaulting passenger from United Kingdom and South Africa. Airlines may be required to return non-Nigerian defaulting passengers to the point of embarkation for non-compliance to federal government rules. Now, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has reviewed the quarantine protocols to include that passengers originating from both UK and South Africa would be received and processed separately by public health authorities, and all the new travel rules will be applicable to both scheduled and non-scheduled passengers from both countries. Well, joining me now is my colleague. Sometimes we call him Dr. Mike Okwache.
Don't push me into the car without a brake.
Mike, good morning. Good morning. It's good to have you here.
It's really good to be
times.
here. Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yes.
Sometimes we talk about these things and all of that is really interesting, I must say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk COVID-19 because we see what is happening. The numbers increasing. We are in the second wave. South Africa, over 1 million cases reported now, and the new variant with regards to the COVID-19. So many issues coming up, and countries are putting in stringent measures to see that they can curb the spread of the virus. And Nigeria is also doing that, in the line of other countries, talking about the fact that passengers who do not follow the process, especially those international travelers coming into the country, will have to be returned to the point of embarkation, and the airlines fined $3,500. Now, this is not the first time we're having such protocols being put in place. Are you confident that this time around we will see the effectiveness of these protocols put in place? Because there has been complaints. You hear the Lagos State Commissioner for Health saying people are buying fake results. I wonder what you see happening this time around.
No, the point is, when things like this happen, it gives you a perspective as to how challenging it is to be in government.
Absolutely.
And to be taking those decisions. Now, I am quite very confident in the move the government is making, because they have constantly said that people should try to adhere to protocols. You have heard from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Information, the Presidential Task Force, the NCDC.
We keep hearing their messages every day.
The point is, exactly. But the point is that they keep airing their frustrations as to people not adhering to the protocols on a daily basis. Now, some people now lately were calling for enforcement. At the moment you talk about enforcement, then you're talking about law enforcement officers coming in to ensure that people are wearing their face masks, and also they are not supposed to be in certain places when they are supposed, and all of that. So at this time, when you look at what the government is doing concerning the travel restrictions for passengers from the UK and South Africa, it's quite commendable, because the issue there is when Germany, Hungary, and other European countries are outrightly banning passengers or flights from the UK, Nigeria is looking at the possibility of studying how things are going. But the point there is that there are restrictions already. If you're coming into Nigeria, there are 2 documents you have to have before you come in. And the point there is that if you're coming in, you have to show an evidence of the fact that you have been negative for the past, you went for a test within 96 days, and you were negative. And then you also have to show a proof of the fact that if you come, you're going to be tested on the 7th day of arrival.
Right.
So all of these things are meant to check the influx of that variant into Nigeria.
But some Nigerians are of the opinion that what we should have done, like we even see Angola has banned, flights from the UK, the US, and even Nigeria shut its borders to all of these countries. A lot of Nigerians are of the opinion that perhaps we should toe the same line to ensure an outright ban, because that was how we had the first case, the index case rather, in the first place. So perhaps right now, seeing that the variant, the new strain, is spreads as faster than the first strain, that perhaps we should just ban outrightly, because the Senate is even considering it next week.
Well, the point is, there could be the likelihood of banning. But the reason why Nigeria is not outrightly banning is because there are so many things involved in banning flights from a country. It is not just about COVID. There are so many other diplomatic, business, political, there's so many things involved in banning flights from a certain country.
Right.
Now, we're talking about UK, we're talking about South Africa.
Yeah.
These two countries that have the new variant, they occupy a very significant position with Nigeria.
And we're talking relationships.
Talking relationship. Nigerians travel. If you check the log and you see the quantum of people traveling from Nigeria to the UK or traveling from Nigeria to South Africa, it is amazing. The only other country that people travel to more is the United States.
Right.
Fine. So the point there is outrightly banning flights or passengers from these two countries has implications. There are so many other implications. And the point there is that you're talking about the economy. You're talking about diplomacy. You're talking about all of those other variants that exist between Nigeria.
We saw the impact when we had the lockdown.
Exactly.
A lot of persons losing their jobs and the airspace. You know, airlines suffered. They were one of the hardest hit.
Exactly. So the point there is that you have to make considerations for all of these different variables before you go out into banning. Now, the NCDC and the Ministry of Health and all of that, and the health authorities and the NCAA, they have all tried to put the guidelines in place to be able to check who is coming in, whether you are Nigerian or who you are.
But the challenge, again, they have talked about is the fact that a lot of them put in fake data, which is also a challenge. Why is it so difficult with us Nigerians?
That is one of the most difficult aspects of it, because people are declaring fake results, people are declaring fake certificates, fake information, fake everything. So it makes it difficult for the government to trace. The point there is that you're not under arrest.
Right.
The government wants to help you, just to assist, so that it helps you and your family, it helps other people, you know.
Your relative by extension.
And so on. And people just being people. You remember even before COVID and all of that, when they issued the yellow card, very good. People were taking fake yellow cards to travel with. People have different fake documents traveling with. So these mischievous people will always be mischievous people.
But some say that perhaps the process put in place is quite cumbersome, and that is what is fueling all of this fakeness that we have mentioned.
When there was no COVID, when we had the issue of yellow card, there was no COVID 2-3 years ago. In fact, I traveled to South Africa with the yellow card. There was nothing cumbersome about that. But people,
the process
still,
for COVID-19, you would recall that some person said they couldn't even find those laboratories that the government said that these are the ones that they have put in place, that people should go to do this test.
People are not just patient. That's the reality. We've been to these places, we've seen it. We've seen people, how they react. The point there is, if you place your call and you go there are people on the queue. So you have to wait for your turn. A day is given to you to go for your check and all of that. So the point there is, people just want to call now, do your test now, and then have your result now.
Shouldn't it be that easy?
No, the point there is, the facility we have, the facility on ground may not be the best in the world, but they are of standard.
Of course.
When it comes to the pressure of the number of people who are going in or requesting for tests, sometimes they can be under a lot of pressure to meet up with the demand. But the point there is that they try their best, and that's why we even hear of some of them working 24 hours sometimes and working based on shift to be able to meet the demand. So the point there is, if you have that kind of a situation, then you have to wait for your time. Then before you go there, I don't think there's anything cumbersome about the issue of go there, do your test, and then your result comes out.
Perhaps because of the time put in place by government that the test must be out and all. But then let's quickly touch on this issue now in terms of the implications. Looking for our healthcare facilities when we have all of the fake results, people not going for tests, people
not adhering
to protocols. We have had 20 doctors die in just 1 week. What are the implications? What do you see?
Well, the point there is kind of bleak. And if it continues that way, then there's going to be far more reaching implication going ahead. Because people are coming. I wonder what motive they have, though, because if you're coming into a country, you're traveling and your documents are right, why not put your exactly? Why not put your information there so you can be traced? But the point there is, when people travel that way and there is no trace, the phone number they're giving is fake, the address they're giving is fake, the certificate they provide is fake, from what the Commissioner of Health Lagos State was saying, then it poses a very great danger to other people, not just your family, because you go to meeting people from
family members. It's a chain.
If you're lodged in a hotel or wherever you are, you're going to be meeting people, you're going to be engaging with people. So it creates a very difficult challenge for government. Because when you're talking about the numbers increasing, it is from some of these things that are unchecked.
Yeah.
So that when you're talking about contact tracing, you cannot trace the right people. People who, especially those who are coming from the UK or coming in from South Africa.
And we need this data to really address the issue.
Exactly, absolutely. We need those data to be able to know, okay, 17 persons came from the UK, and this is where they live, this is where they live, and that's where they live. Or at least we have their phone numbers, we can call them to find out, are you okay?
The contact tracing, because they would, like you have said, they're engaging with people.
So people declaring fake results and fake information poses a very great danger to the entire population, not just in Lagos, but because the moment you come into the country, you can travel from Lagos to anywhere you want to travel to.
Right.
So it poses a lot of danger, and the numbers can even increase further if that is the case, and this goes on without being checked. But the government is saying, from what we heard the commissioner say, that people who come in like that and there is no trace, you provide fake information and all of that, of course, government will take its own stringent measures to deactivate your international passport. So by the time you go back to want to travel and you see your document is no longer working, they have to get you there. Perhaps
this will put a lot of people in check, because the question is, why is it so difficult for people to take responsibility? This is not just in Nigeria. No. When you look at reports from the UK, from the US, across other countries, people are refusing to just adhere to the protocols.
The point there is, the conspiracy theory bandied around either on social media or even in the media by people who are highly placed sometimes, people who are leaders and all of that. Some of the statements and conspiracy theory that they put out there, it has dedication. Because people are listening. For instance, if I am here and then I listen to a minister or a senator or a governor or a president saying that this thing is fake or this thing is not, it has impact on some, because you know that these people are privy to information no one else has access to. So all of those things, when they come into the mix, it complicates the whole matter. So some people are seeing it from the perspective of, oh no, the COVID-19 is just fake and all of that. But
the
people
myths
are dying.
And leadership, very key to addressing these issues from the root, if we may say, put it that way. Dr. Mike Okwocha, doctor in quotes now.
Don't implicate me.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.